Welcome back to Sam Explains Dreams again. So, aside from the first dream I had last night, the second dream I had was, it was interesting. So, what happened first was I think me and my mom were going around to different stores, and there was this one candy shop we wanted to go to, but we didn't have time. So she drove close to it and kind of looped around. Somehow got the car past these tiny posts and ran over a singular piece of candy, and the shop owner fined her for that singular piece of candy. And I remember the shop owner asking me why my dad didn't turn my mom in or something, and I'm like, my mom's not always like that. What the fuck? Anyway, so there were some character stories and stuff, talking about different characters who were held back from who they wanted to be. And yeah, there was this fair downtown. It was huge, it was very colorful, and it was so cool. I remember there was a singular bit of a parade that had this steampunk thing, and everyone was told to step aside out of the road, and you just hear dun that whole thing, just from this fucking parade float that's made of golden brass and shit. And there was a movie going on a big screen on a building, I think. It was in front of a park or whatever. But there were a lot of colorful stuff. There was some sort of documentary, and I remember hearing throughout the thing, and it showed we passed antique toy shops and stuff, and there was a narrator talking about how kids would paint, would be hired to paint these toys, and some of them, and the kids who were hired to paint the toys would be able to have collections of them. But there were stories from kids who didn't were very stressed out by this because they were overworked and actually underpaid. And it was they climb a ladder, and then someone comes and stretches out the ladder and says now you try to climb it. And they were looking out a window, and there was a theme of this one very new tech thing called Pickle Girl, and then people were cosplaying as her. It was a very I don't want to say the short, stacky kind of girl dressed as a pickle, and she had pink hair. But yeah, there was also shit like VR and stuff. Fuck. There's my room. But yeah, the kid was climbing a ladder which was said to be as tall as Russell from Gorillaz. What? But he climbs the ladder, and he looks out the window, and he sees someone cosplaying as Pickle Girl, and also who ends up suddenly being half naked, which is weird. But then there's also someone playing with some video game or whatever, and he's I want to do that instead. And there's just so many people who are rejecting whatever's oppressing them, and becoming happier. This kid's he gets a cool haircut. One of his friends from school turned out to grow up to be a trans woman, which was neat. There was yeah, I can't understate how colorful everything was. It was just, imagine the biggest imagine the biggest parade or downtown party you have ever seen, but amplified. There was somehow some sort of fair ride at a corner of a fucking courthouse lawn. There were so many colors. There was it was like, it was an old style downtown like my city, but it was full of color and like different things. There's like, I think there was some fucker on stilts, I don't know. But I remember kind of like flying over everything several times. There's so many people, so many things going on, and it was very cool. And at the end there was something to do with different toy cars that were supposed to represent like secrets or trauma or whatever that you weren't going to specify. And I had like a blue car, I think, that I held. I think it might have been yellow, but with like blue inside. I don't remember. The color probably shifted, but my parents were there with me, and I said something like, "Oh, my cat just jumped in my bed." It said something like, one of my characters would probably ride a bike over here, and the dream ended like soon after that. But like, Bubby, you normally never climb up in bed with me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Bubba? Aw. Aw. Hey. Hey, baby boy. Aww. Bubby. I love you. Good morning, Bub. Good morning. Good morning, baby. I love you.